Hello friends, my name is Colin. I am the owner of the ctrent03 YouTube channel, and today we are covering my third episode in my S2 series for becoming an air traffic controller on the VATSIM network. Before I even start the episode, there's a couple of things I have to say. First and foremost is an apology. I have basically been non-existent for this past year. There are plenty of reasons why I haven't been uploading, but I can just sum it up to me being busy. I decided to take 6 AP classes this year in school, and you mix that with about 10 other electives, and yeah, my free time basically just went away. And with that, I didn't have time to stream, edit videos, or even fly on my flight simulator in general. But I was doing all of that work in hopes to get most of my college paid for so that I could follow my dream of aviation. That being said, I have officially graduated high school, and now my time comes for college. It is with that I'm able to share a very exciting next step in my journey as I go to a local university and major in professional flight. And none of this, and I mean absolutely none of this, would have been possible without you guys. When I uploaded that first video about becoming an air traffic controller on VATSIM 2 years ago, I was just a nerd who liked planes. Didn't know how to do it as a future career, but saw a stepping stone and rolled with it. And now, I'm getting the opportunity to spend 4 years at a pretty freaking cool university and go fly. And from there, possibly even fly for the rest of my life. I am incredibly grateful for you guys. If you guys didn't watch these videos, I probably wouldn't have continued this journey. And with that, I probably wouldn't have ended up where I am today. So truly, thank you. Alrighty, that is enough sentimental sadness for one episode. Without any further delay, let's get into the weeds as we follow my journey to get my S2 rating. Step 1 is to reference the S1 to S2 rating flow for my RTAC. In the last episode, we finished my training at Fort Smith and achieved the Fort Smith certification. Now it is time to begin my training at Memphis. Now, compared to Fort Smith, the training at Memphis was a bit more difficult for a couple of reasons. Reason 1 can be seen clearly when comparing the two airport diagrams side by side. On the left is the Fort Smith Airport, and on the right is the Memphis Airport. You'll notice that the Memphis Airport has 4 runways, while Fort Smith only has 2. 3 of the 4 runways at Memphis are parallel, and the average runway length is much longer. So you may be asking, how does this correlate to the airport being more difficult? Essentially, it means that the traffic for Memphis is going to be much more stress-inducing than that of anything I've experienced on the network before. With 4 possible departure runways and 2 arrival runways, the traffic amount and variety will be greatly increased. Reason 2 can be seen when we switch to the sectional chart for the Memphis airspace. The Memphis airspace is marked with a solid blue circle, which indicates that it is a Class Bravo, which is much busier than the Delta traffic of Fort Smith. Memphis is also known for being one of the busiest Class Bravos, as it's the hub of the cargo airline FedEx. But the increased traffic amount isn't it. You see, whenever you're doing sweatbox sessions, the goal isn't to train you for the normal amount of traffic at whatever airport you're training at. It's to train you for the worst case scenario. That way, whenever you get an increased amount of traffic on the network, you're not freaking out on frequency. So it's safe to say, I had my work cut out for me. It was in this time between my Fort Smith solo certification and the start of my training at Memphis that my training took a real dip. That's because, unfortunately, I just didn't have time to train. Real-life commitments got the better of me, and my VATSIM training was put on the back burner. I'd also be lying if I said that starting my training at Memphis didn't make me a little bit anxious. So those two feelings mixing together led to a really large gap in between my training. But once I got back into my training, I realized it wasn't so bad. Other than the couple of peculiarities that Memphis does have, and of course the increased traffic load, Memphis isn't too bad. Because of that, my training absolutely flew by. And I was able to pretty easily obtain my Memphis Solo Tower certification. So now it was time for the all too dreaded Memphis OTS. So the stage is set. As I log onto my position, I receive my briefing. A large thunderstorm has just passed through the Memphis area. Planes are taxiing to and holding short of every major runway. As the lone local controller in the tower, it is my job to expeditiously release each plane in proper separation from other arriving and departing aircraft. Not to mention, I'll have to deal with pesky VFR props that intend to ruin my sequence. And as I nervously sat down in my chair to complete my first ever rating exam, like an absolute buffoon, I forgot to press record on my audio. I don't know whether it was the nerves or whether I'm just genuinely stupid, but I let a video record for an hour and 15 minutes, and not once did I notice that it wasn't recording my audio. But here we are. So, making the most out of what I do have, here's a time-lapse of my OTS exam with the most intense audio I could find. And that was it. That was my whole OTS. Throughout the exam, my instructor had written down every single small mistake that I made. So now all I could do was sit there and wait as he graded. And then I got the news. I passed. Now, I just want to preface. In my rating exam, I made a lot of mistakes. I'm actually really upset that I don't have the audio for this exam because it is a perfect example of how sometimes you don't have to do everything right in order to succeed. My instructor could tell that I was nervous. He could tell that my nerves were the reason I was making a lot of these small mistakes. But at the end of the day, despite being nervous, no loss of separation happened, and the expeditious flow of aircraft did get done. And that's what matters. Now, I'm well aware that a lot of people, especially the people that are watching this video going into their S2 training, are going to be really upset that they didn't get to see what the OTS was like. So for those people, I'd like to offer a bit of advice. It's very easy in the conversion from S1 to S2 to kind of freeze up and have what we call a helmet fire. But what you'll find as your training goes farther on is that S2 isn't difficult. It's just about task management. I like to call my version of task management as a local controller mental RAM. Now, mental RAM works the exact same way it works inside of a computer, except obviously this time you're using that short-term memory for your responsibilities as a local controller. The highest on the priority list, the thing that gets your memory first, is the planes that are currently moving, whether that be a landing or departing aircraft. Before you address anything else, the planes that are currently moving are the most important things to process. After which should come the planes that would like to get moving. And then finally, any other responsibilities you may have. Runway crossings, possibly controller coordination, things like that. There are so many small things that I could bring up with local control, it's actually crazy. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you get the job done. So, conserve your mental RAM correctly and reap the rewards. And that's it for this episode. I've officially achieved my S2 certification, and now it's on to S3. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, do whatever you can to help with the channel. I'm a small content creator, and I'm looking to grow a following of people who also enjoy aviation. If you think that might be you, go ahead and let me know down in the comments section. Once again, I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and as always, be safe.